What? On Google Earth. We're headed to the town of Malvern, Pennsylvania, to 401 Monument Avenue, an ordinary intersection in an ordinary town in present-day America. But in the year 1777, in the War for Independence, this patch of ground was anything but ordinary. Here lie 53 American patriots, victims of a surprise attack, many of whom were killed while sleeping in their tents. This is their memorial. Sacred to the memory of the patriots who on this spot fell, a sacrifice to British barbarity during the struggle for American independence on the night of the 20th of September, 1777. And here is their story. September 1777. 1,500 Patriot soldiers and militia are camped here, under American General Anthony Wayne. Wayne's orders, given by George Washington himself, are to monitor a brigade of around 1,200 British forces camped a few miles away. This brigade, led by General Charles Gray, is one of several poised to capture Philadelphia. General Wayne and his 1,500 patriots think their presence is not known by the nearby British encampment, but how wrong they are. The British scouts have already identified the American position. As night falls, General Wayne and his patriots lay down to rest in their tents, not knowing that the greatest nightmare of their lives is about to unfold. The British begin their move toward the American encampment, specifically located in the area called Paoli Tavern. Using the element of surprise, the British Army plans an attack in the darkness just before dawn, while the Americans are sound asleep and unprepared to fight back. Worse yet, the British leader, Charles Gray, gives his men a most sinister order of battle to remove the flints from their muskets and use only their bayonets. Bayonets that Gray knows the under-equipped Patriot soldiers don't have. First, the British take out the sentries assigned to look out for trouble. Their screams from being stabbed multiple times alert some of the sleeping soldiers in tents, but not all. Then the full-scale assault begins. Bayonets thrust into the helpless, defenseless patriots in the darkness of night before they can even rise from their blankets. The redcoats have arrived, and their mission is decimation. Their bayonets rip through skulls and flesh alike. Patriot soldiers are stabbed again and again in what cannot be called a fight, but a mass murder. Some attempt to flee but are cut down. The field is chaos and filled with blood. Patriots, already wounded, plead for their lives, but their fates are sealed. The phrase, "giving quarter to the enemy," is not in the vocabulary of many of the attacking soldiers this evening. Before sunrise, 53 patriots lie dead, another 70 taken prisoner, and in the days that follow, the number of dead, wounded, or captured climbs toward 300. British casualties? Only a small handful. The British attack is successful. The Patriots have scattered, and the road to Philadelphia lies open. But the methods used, that was something else. Even in the brutal 18th century, mercy is still expected. Prisoners are supposed to live, but at Paoli, they don't. That is why Americans call it a massacre. That is why the memorial says British barbarity. But was it truly barbarity? Was it a cowardly, unfair attack? Or the intelligent warfare strategy known as the element of surprise? Or as the ancient Spartans might say, give them nothing and take from them everything? Or was it a reflection of an under-equipped army in over its head? In times of war, truth and fairness are sometimes beside the point. War is a subjective thing. Nonetheless, remember Paoli becomes a rallying cry, one that the colonial army wields to change the narrative. Remember Paoli helps unite the colonies. It leads the army to supply soldiers with better equipment. and it inspires new recruits to enlist. It even convinces citizens torn between loyalty to the crown and this new republic that maybe the cause of these rebels is worth fighting for. The British think their attack on Paoli is brilliant, but in truth, they've shot themselves in the foot. They've put the final nails in their own coffins. The British have awakened a sleeping giant. The Patriots' new rallying cry cuts deeper than even the sharpest bayonet. And abroad, the world is watching. The French, no friend to England, is weighing whether this rebellion can endure. But even after a devastating massacre, they see that this Patriot army, these American rebels, refuse to give up. With the help of the French, the Patriots begin to win major battles against the British, battles that eventually lead to American independence. But that's another story. Remember, Paoli does not decide the Revolutionary War, but its impact is far from a footnote. That rallying cry still echoes today across this quiet field, where joggers roam, families picnic under trees, and the memory of the unspeakable slaughter that occurred here has faded in the centuries since. While the memorial has weathered, its words have not. British barbarity. A reminder that cruelty can backfire, that it can unite the very people it's meant to break. In this quiet, peaceful field that could pass for an ordinary park, in an ordinary town, anywhere in America, something of consequence did happen. Something that helped decide the Revolutionary War. September 20th will always be a day of remembrance in this revered place in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Because it happened. Right here, on Google Earth.